Gulshan Grover, the bad man, is on a roll. Amitabh Bachchan saab talking about bad man felt nice. As Mahesh Bhatt says, Gulshan Grover, never over. Bad man is here. Bad man is a brand. I'm the first commercial cinema actor who made a transition from Bollywood to Hollywood. My successes, my hard work, my sincerity, my faith in God, and all these wonderful people who in this journey helped me at every moment. At every moment. The bad man is happy and excited.
Hello everyone, welcome to ETimes, and today we've got the inimitable Gulshan Grover with us. He's the original bad man, not just in Bollywood, in Hollywood and the world over. So welcome sir, welcome to ETimes. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. Yes, the bad man is happy and excited.
That's great, sir. So, just before we started this interview, I was doing a bit of research and I found out that, there's so much happening in your career right now. You've just had Sooryavanshi release. It's such a big film. Apart from that, you've got so much happening on OTT. You've got shows like Cash, Your Honor. Plus, your book is being translated. So how does it feel to be in this plentiful, abundant phase of your career right now?
Extremely happy, excited, very excited. As your colleague, Vinita, she said the other day, Gulshan Grover is on a roll. That feels nice to hear that, And it is actually true, that luckily, filmmakers and fans and everybody is having enormous faith in my ability, enormous fans are enjoying my work. I mean, the very fact, people are absolutely loving my work in Sooryavanshi. Talking about, saying such wonderful things. I mean, I had an extraordinary experience at the cinema. I went to watch the film Sooryavanshi at a cinema because director Rohit Shetty had no trial at all, no screening. So they said, watch it in a cinema and we'll arrange it. I went to watch the film and fans heard about this and hundreds of fans gathered there. My car was difficult to move. I mean, like the security from the cinema rushed and sort of rescued me. Of course, I acknowledged my fans and enjoyed the moment and put me in the car and said, "Sir, aap ghar wapas jaiye, picture dekhne nahi aa sakte." So that's the kind of reaction I'm getting from the fans who are watching Sooryavanshi. I shared this video with my dear friend and brother Akshay Kumar, and I told him, I'm at a cinema and look what's happening to our film, to the reaction of people. He was very happy. I shared the video with director Rohit Shetty, and he was very happy. It was the very first day, literally the second show, when all this happened. I mean, like, I went to watch the film. I didn't go there to, with an announcement, Gulshan Grover will come. I just went there to watch the film. And so all this makes you feel very excited that fans love you. Fans love your work. And then, of course, on top of it, right around the same time, I've never worked in a series before. This is the first time I acted in a series for applause. Applause make very interesting series. As you see that they do very good work. With director ETimes. ETimes is a film director. I worked with him I've seen many of his films. I've not worked with him before. Jimmy Shergill, Mahi Gill, and various others. And this is season 2 of Your Honor. And they bring me in season 2 to make things hot, dangerous, messy. And when they released the trailer, trust me, I was reading on the social media people are reacting to it. Oh my God, first season में मजा आया था, पर Bad Man के आने से ये तो और ज़्यादा sizzle होगा, और ज़्यादा मजा आएगा. These are genuine, true comments. These are not like generated comments. It's exciting. Then I did a film for Mahesh Bhatt Saab, Mukesh Bhatt Saab's Gen Next, Vishesh and his sister Sakshi. Gen Next produced a film, of course, the same company, a film which is all youngish film, young director, Rishabh Shetty, young actors, and I am the only senior, experienced actor person that they wanted in the film. It was like made with this condition that the senior Butts were not even allowed to come on the set. Vishesh and the whole team wanted that whether we make mistakes, whether we do right, we want to do it on our own. And the film is releasing. It's called Cash. It's based on Notebandi, and it's getting, the trailer is getting very interesting reaction. Right around the same time, my book Bad Man, which is like Penguin has done it in English. Now Penguin and Prabhat Publications have brought the same book Bad Man with updates in Hindi. And of course, it's written by Roshmila Bhattacharya, who's one of the Times of India editor. She's been an editor at Bombay Times, and she has written this in English and Hindi. And now the book is being planned in Gujarati, in Bengali, and it's fantastic that they feel that my connectivity with various kind of audiences is there. Therefore, the book needs to be brought in multiple languages. And Penguin very rarely do like books in Hindi. They did Penguin and Prabhat Publications did this in Hindi, and top it all, Gulshan Grover's second name, Bad Man, is now turned into a brand. Bad Man is a brand. One of the largest company in Ayurveda, natural herbal products, launched men's grooming products called Bad Man. How cool is that? How fantastic is that? I mean, I feel that, and all this in a span of a month. So Vinita, you are right. Gulshan Grover, the Bad Man, is on a roll.
That's right, sir. Obviously you've had such a long career. You've seen almost everything. But even now, when you see, suddenly, with providence or with luck, whatever, when everything sort of comes together all at once, how does it make you feel? I mean, everyone wants to stay relevant. Everyone wants to stay occupied. But when it all comes together suddenly, how does that make you feel personally?
Well, it's a whole lot of hard work to stay relevant. It's a whole lot of hard work. It's a whole lot of being, constantly evolving, constantly understanding that what is it right today. Some of it may not work for you. Some of the, things around you in life, some of the things in entertainment may not necessarily work with you. Some of the things that you may not relate to, but to stay aware, to stay relevant, to stay relevant, you have to keep evolving. Somebody like me who is strong-headed, strong-opinionated, along with constant evolution, I decide how much of it I'm going to imbibe, how much of it I'm going to take. So therefore, your acting has to be of today. You may be famous for 30 years, but till you connect with somebody as young as my son Sanjay Grover, who watches, a whole lot of American series, world series, cinema, and everything. By the way, he's in cinema. He works with Hollywood studio MGM. He's a film producer there. some youngster where I live in the building, do they connect to this kind of acting? Do they connect to this kind of material that you're working in? This kind of presentation? Or you are एक पुराना गाना जो आप अपनी धुन बजाए जा रहे हैं, तो रेलेवेंट जो मैं हूं इस वक्त और रहूंगा जिंदगी पर, उसके 3-4 रीजन है कि एक तो my exposure to the world cinema, working there for, as you know, and as everyone knows, that and it's the most right thing that I'm the first commercial cinema actor who made a transition from Bollywood to Hollywood. I made a mud path between Bollywood and Hollywood. And I'm proud of the fact that it is being cemented and followed by such wonderful actors like Priyanka Chopra and various others. So that has taught me a lot. My son, Sanjay Grover, who's in cinema, who can be very aggressive in criticizing and saying, Dad, stop the 90s. It doesn't make sense. I don't even want to talk to you about cinema if this is your views. I don't even want to talk to you about acting if this is how you think. And various other young people.
Right.
And along with that, various other people that give you affection saying, अरे साहब जब आप फिल्मों में आते थे ना तो जो मजा आता था, वो जो एक्टिंग थी, वो जो डायलॉग बाजी थी, उस सबका बैलेंस कहाँ पर?
True.
You have to. One of the biggest examples is, of course, Amitabh Bachchan. He has stayed relevant. He has stayed relevant for literally for a decade. He's loved by seniors. He's loved by younger people. So he's a great example and someone that I learn a lot from him.
Right. And so, I mean, now that you brought up Mr. Bachchan, he did ask a question about you on KBC recently, wherein it was about, the Bad Man image. It's synonymous with which actor? How did that feel?
It felt very nice that there was a question and asking about Bad Man, and then Amitji explained about my character, that in film Ram Lakhan, Gulshan Grover played this character, this, that, the other. It felt fantastic. I sent a thank you message, and I did a thank you tweet to Amitji. It was fantastic. It was very good. Amitabh Bachchan Saab talking about Bad Man felt nice.
Definitely. And so going back to your son, you did mention Sanjay is always, he's the voice in your ear. How, I mean, is that a boon that, somebody so close to you, he can be an honest critic of you and he can guide you onto the right path?
That is how the relationship should be with your friends, with your family. That they don't cross the line. I mean, younger ones, they don't disrespect you, but they have every right to disagree. And they must point out that, this is what you're doing, which doesn't make sense.
Right.
If this is what you think is entertainment today, if this is what you think is acting today, then man, I'd rather see your old films and not, really have, I don't want to suffer watching you. So when you hear words like this, and you sit down, you think. Because the thing is, a lot of films are being made by various minds, various people. A lot of acting is done by different talent. Direction is done by different talent. The one thing is for sure, the cinema viewer is very young. The OTT viewer is largely young, and it's also viewed by others. So, I mean, I'm a student. I keep learning. I keep learning from observing, watching, seeing, reading, and then being bombarded by Sanjay Grover's, relevant comments.
That's nice. And another thing, so you were saying that, you're working on a lot of projects which has a lot of young talent. Like, for example, Vishesh Bhatt and his project. So when you are part of a set of a project where there's so much of young talent around and you're the most senior person, does that sort of put a responsibility on your shoulders? That, I mean, do people come and ask you for your advice? How do you sort of?
Only first 3 hours. Then I say to them, first 3 hours, they are, sir, what do you think, sir? It's okay. Are you comfortable doing this? And I say to them, if you ask me again, first 3 hours, they are, sir, are you comfortable? I'm thinking, if you do like this, is this okay for you? I say, if you continue this way, I will not enjoy the process. I may not come the next day to work. I want to do it the way you feel is right for you. With my experience and expertise, I will combine it with certain nuances that you may or may not like. I may not exactly copy you like a parrot, but I don't want you to be constantly thinking and saying, okay, whether I'm comfortable doing this, in my opinion, this is right. In about 3 hours, by practically doing what they want, it's settled. This senior is interested in doing it in a younger way. This senior is not going to sit down and say, यार क्या करें? हम जो बोल रहे हैं हमारे टाइम में हमारा ये मुझे तो वो लोग पसंद नहीं. तो वो 3-4 घंटे में सेटल हो जाता है मामला कि आप क्या चाहते हैं, लेट्स डू इट दैट वे. और ये मैंने बड़ी अर्ली सीखा था जी. महेश भट्ट साहब मेरे मेंटोर, मुझे उन्होंने बहुत सिखाया. He told me one day, he says, these young assistant directors, they love you, they like you, they rush when you are here because you sort of have a connection with them, you talk to them, you listen to them. These are the future filmmakers of tomorrow. Don't ignore the young people and don't resist what they want you to do. Reason it out, but don't resist. Because they may bring another newer avenue. They may find something new in your ability and make you do some very interesting work. Don't resist. Don't say, "Arey yaar, aisa kaise? Hame aata hai." Wo mat kar. Because I learned way back, and I'm happy all that is helping. I'm happy all that is being truly part of my system. I'm not, it's not something external that I'm sort of using it. It's part of my system. And I'm glad that, like a whole lot of young directors, young people want to work with me. Whole lot of young people, when they work with me, they say, it was an absolutely amazing experience. Makes me feel happy.
Right. So, now that you're talking about this, I remember a sort of speech by Arnold Schwarzenegger very many years ago, where he had said, he might have been the biggest movie star in the world during the 90s, but he said something interesting was he could not have done it without friends. He could not have done it without other people who helped him out. And you had such a long and illustrious career. What sort of friendships that were instrumental in sort of helping you evolve? You've said Mahesh Bhatt sir has been your mentor as well. But what were the other relationships, your other friends from the film industry who helped you out?
I would go even a few steps ahead of what Arnold said. Trust me, and I know where exactly he said. He said it in one of the recent, convention conference where he
was addressing a bunch of students, I think.
Yes, and I personally know him very well and met him multiple times. And I'd also like to tell you that way back I presented him with one painting of Lord Krishna and hand painted, and Khadi Gram Udyog's waistcoat with whole lot of needlework and everything. So he wrote a letter to me. The man in that blue painting has such intense eyes. Of course, we pointed out to him that's Lord Krishna. And the detailed work of embroidery and Indian, ethnic this thing. So he wrote to me a very nice letter about like the gifts that I gave him. I know him well. I've smoked cigars with him multiple times.
That's
So
great.
there must be a picture of him. Yeah, there is. So I would say that I not only fully agree with Arnold, I would like to add to that. My career is an example of my hard work, my sincerity, translated to some senior influential person without me trying to impress. And that person said, "Come here. We just have 2 scenes in the film and you work so hard." I said, "What else? That's the only way I know. And that's how I'm going to do it." And hmm. and that senior actor recommended me for another film. Right at the start, I worked in Hum Panch. Shamana ji recommended me for Avatar.
Right.
I worked in another film. Amrish Puri ji recommended me. Shatrughan Sinha ji recommended me. Like Mithun Chakravarti recommended me. You name it, almost everybody. Rishi Kapoor Sahab. So many of these wonderful actors, directors, filmmakers. This is Arre. I remember one film that I didn't eventually get to do. Aditya Chopra was turning a director. So he thought of casting me in that film. And he thought of my name. And then he wasn't sure. Then he called Shahrukh and asked him, "Shahrukh, I'm thinking of casting Gulshan Grover in this. What do you think?" He said, "If you can handle hard work, if you can handle sincerity, and if you can handle true, sincere, genuine work, he's the man." He said, "That's what I wanted to hear. I was scared that ये star है, villain है, कि एकदम dismissive attitude से आके काम करके चला जाए." He said, "No, you're wrong. I never got that film. I never got a chance to work with him. But I heard from both, from Aditya Chopra and from Shahrukh, that how he described me. Like, it's a strange thing that your genuine traits, even in your profession, they translate to the seniors, to the influential people, to everybody. So yes, Arnold is right. My successes, my hard work, my sincerity, my faith in God, and all these wonderful people who in this journey helped me at every moment,
So bringing you back to modern times again, the film industry had all its hopes pinned on Sooryavanshi, because almost for 2 years we didn't have a big release, and everyone was sort of hoping that Sooryavanshi would come to theaters and revive the box office, and it has done so. So with so many expectations pinned on that one film, I would want to know, what were your expectations of this film? What were you expecting out of it, and has that panned out for you as well?
Right from day one, when I got the call from Rohit Shetty saying that he would like me to play this part, they used the word main opposition to all these characters. And then when I heard the role, and when I heard, a large part of the script, I was very excited. Because Rohit Shetty makes very successful films, entertaining films, interesting films, mega films. And then the shooting process started. The first scene that I shot was where they tied me up and they beat me up, and they're asking me. That was my first shot. It was a 2.5-page dialogue, which of course now is 3 lines. It's cut to 3 lines.
3 lines.
It was 2.5-page dialogue. And he said, "Sir, would you like to do it in parts?" I said, "I'd like to do it in one shot."
Okay.
"I'm ready." But look, let's go for it. Multiple cameras. I gave it a shot. And he said, "Fantastic. No more." That doesn't work for me. I am one more. Please, try to.
That's the hard work coming in. That's what Adi
So,
Chopra was talking about.
and tab tak Akshay Kumar had come, a dear friend and brother. He was shocked to see me there after, like we were working together after such a long time, warm, getting together, this, that, and the other. And I somehow convinced to get one more shot of that. The director's clarity, the director's vision, and what he wants and how he wants, and was clear from that day with my experience of cinema, Bollywood, Hollywood, Canada, you name it, like France, Germany, Malaysia, Indonesia, everywhere I worked. So he was clear. When he was making the film, it was truly an enjoyable experience. And many times I always said, one more, Rohit, there, one more. I want to try this. I want to do this. And then many times he says, sir, I'm going to use what I like. You can try it 15 times. And then at one or two places, there was a scene in the film that has been cut. That was not there. That's not there in the final film. Where I make very putting down gestures to Akshay. Normally, a hero would have an objection, but Akshay Kumar is my brother and he doesn't care whatever I do to him. If I ill-treat him on screen, he's fine with that. He's okay. He said, oh, it's okay. Normally you can't do physical ill-treatment to a hero, because unless, he feels, you may say, no, mujhe mat karo, And he said, mera bhai hai, mera dost hai, jo marzi kar. So he said, मैं रखूंगा नहीं सर, आप कर लो अपना दिल खुश करने के लिए. I will not keep it. His clarity of things came across bit by bit while working. First day, I insisted on one more. He said, आप कर लीजिए, मैं रखूंगा वही. Second time, I said, can I do this? He said, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. You want to try something? Go ahead. And he said, after that, sir, it's very good, but I like the first one. I'll keep that. Then when I did some physical gesture to put Akshay Kumar down, he said, Akshay Kumar said, I have no problem, no objection. He's my brother, it's okay. He said, I will not keep it. It's okay. Shoot it, but I will not keep it. His clarity of things came across while making this picture. Day 4, day 5, I was only listening to Rohit and I was saying, क्या चाहिए आपको? तो आप करिए सर, मैं बताता हूँ. उस सारी क्लैरिटी को याद करते हुए, when he took a stand कि मैं सिर्फ सिनेमा में रिलीज करूँगा, when he took a stand that this is a film for cinema, this is a big film, this and the other, the whole experience needs to be enjoyed in a cinema. I was with his confidence because he was not coming to us all of a sudden. वो पूरी पिक्चर की शूटिंग के दौरान क्लियर, वो हर रोज क्लियर था कि वो आपको मान दे रहा है, डिसरिस्पेक्ट नहीं कर रहा, प्यार से कह रहा है कि आपकी बात सही है, लेकिन मेरे मन में ये है, मैं यही करूँ. एक्टिंग, शॉट, कपड़े, कॉस्ट्यूम, जो भी चीज है, उसके दिमाग में जो चीज है वो कर रहा है. So when he took that stand after putting the posters, posters were out, we were excited, we were calling and saying, when is the premiere? Suddenly it all stopped. Times became so bad, forget about thinking about the film. It was a question of survival. It was a question of somehow going through this. And he stuck on. And also I like to say, like the financing company, Reliance, and various other elements also supported. And finally today, when he released the film, the results are in front of everybody.
Right.
Rohit Shetty's confidence, Rohit Shetty's belief, supported by the financing company, Reliance, supported by the hero Akshay Kumar, and other, Ajay Devgan and Rohit are good friends, and everybody sort of, translated into a great success.
And just one final question, sir. The phrase "bad man," it's become synonymous with your personality, with your celebrity, and so much so that I mean, there are other actors who've also had epithets. They've also had titles, but for you to sort of turn it into a brand and one which is still relevant, uh, was that a decision that automatically happened, or did you sort of work towards it? How did that come about?
See, I didn't do anything. I didn't plan it. You can't. An individual cannot plan. You cannot be sure what sort of love and affection you'll get from people, what sort of backing you'll get from investors, what sort of filmmakers and everybody. The only thing you know is to work hard, work with sincerity, and have faith in God. So, I mean, like, suddenly today, Bad Man is a brand. Bad Man, there's a movie called Bad Man. There's a autobiography called Bad Man. There's a men's grooming product called Get Bad Man.
Yeah.
There's, multiple other things are going to happen called Bad Man. It's become a brand. Now, I like to, apart from feeling happy, great, gloating about it, I like to say this that this is also, it just happened, I didn't plan it. It's also path breaking for various other such strong film generated characters, film generated names like you say Khiladi, Akshay Kumar face comes. You say Chakas, Anil Kapoor's face comes. You say angry young man, Amitabh Bachchan's face comes. You say shotgun, Shatrughan Sinha's. Somehow, God chose me to start this. It was all of a sudden. I mean, like, God decided that Bad Man के नाम से book, Bad Man के नाम से film by what I call 18, big film. Bad Man के नाम से men's grooming product, and Bad Man के नाम से hundreds of things are going to be launched. It's only because God decides, and the love and affection of fans, which I experience each day, especially now what I'm experiencing on social media, visually, personally, when I go into the cinema, when I go somewhere, it's fantastic. And I'm truly, truly obliged to my fans who are, sort of, who think that my style of acting, my entertainment, some talk about just my fitness, some talk about just my, being adventurous and going and working in Hollywood when people were not even sure, working in France, Germany, here, there. Today I'm a Polish film company. The first Indian actor to work in a Polish film.
Okay.
First Indian actor to work in an Iranian film. First Indian actor to work in a Malaysian film. All this happens because, I am open to things, I work hard, and someone up there creates those opportunities. And grateful to God, grateful to fans, grateful to filmmakers, and various other people who have faith in Bad Man.
That's great, sir. We are grateful for having you on this interview, in this conversation, sir. It has been a great pleasure talking to you. And I would just like to wish you best of luck for all future endeavors. I'm sure there's a lot more happening in your career.
Thank you very much. Yes, and it was a pleasure, being on ETimes, talking to you. And yes, as Mahesh Bhatt says, Gulshan Grover, never over. Bad Man is here.